Hey guys, my name's Jamin. Thanks for visiting my channel. In this video, I have an HP 15R series laptop. The exact model number will be in the title, also below in the description. And this is going to be a teardown or disassembly video where I take you through the computer so you can see a majority of the main components and how to access them. Hopefully this helps you out with whatever project you're working on. So first thing guys, power down the computer the correct way. Make sure it's off and unplugged from your charger. We're then going to flip it over to access the bottom case screws. Okay, so to push the battery out, we're going to unlock both these clips. Push that one in. Push that one in. And the battery comes out. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out all my screws. I have 3 along the bottom, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws. So in addition to those 10 screw guys, you have 2 rubber feet up here and they have screws hidden underneath them. So I'm going to take a small screwdriver and just gently pry up those rubber feet without breaking them. They're held on by double-sided tape, so they will come up. And now I can get those 2 screws under there. After taking those out, I can take my pry tool and pop these quarter panels off, because if I don't take them off now, I could break them when opening up the computer. The last thing I want to do on the bottom case is your CD-ROM drive. That screw right there releases your CD-ROM drive. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that out. And there's actually 2 screws under there. Those are the last 2 screws for this side of the bottom case to take out. As a side note guys, make sure you keep your screws separate. As you can see, those screws that came out of the CD-ROM area are small and flat. The ones that came out of here are longer. So make sure you keep your screws separate. Also, the screws that came out of this hole and this hole are longer than the screws that came out of these holes, because those 2 screws go all the way down and screw into your keyboard. So actually, I'll flip the computer over now and show you the keyboard, because without taking apart the keyboard, we can't get into the computer. So I'm going to take my small flat pry tool and go up top the keyboard and get it out from those clips. And that's what you're looking at for underneath that keyboard. Now to get that ribbon cable up, I'm just going to go in with my pry tool, pop that up, and take the keyboard ribbon out. Okay, so to take a ribbon cable out of this kind of connector, first you have your ribbon cable here, you have the port on the motherboard, and then you have this retainer clip over here. This clip opens and shuts like a book cover. It opens from this side and the hinges are on this side. So in order to get that up, be very careful. Take a small flat pry tool, slide it underneath and pop it up like that, and then the ribbon cable can come out. After taking the ribbon cable out, I like to put it back down for safekeeping so it doesn't get caught on anything and rip. These are very, very breakable, these retainer clips. And if you break it, you're most likely not going to be able to find a replacement, in which case your ribbon cable won't be able to secure down anymore, so be very careful. To get the retainer clip back in, you would pop it up again very carefully. You would slide the ribbon cable in, nice and flush. It may take a few times if you're not used to it, getting it flush, and then just snap the retainer clip down. And that's how you would operate that kind of clip. So after taking up your keyboard, there's a few more screws down here that we've got to take out. And then there's a couple more cables that I'm going to take up, because these are plugged into the motherboard. I'm going to take that one up, this one up. And now I'm going to take my small pry tool. I'm going to go around the palm rest all the way along the edge. Oop, I missed a screw right there. That's a thing, if you feel some resistance, guys, don't force it. You're definitely strong enough to break a laptop panel, but if you do feel some resistance, you may have missed a screw. So I'll just keep going across now. And that palm rest comes off like that. So this is what you're looking at for the inside of your computer. And just so you're aware guys, if you need any replacement parts for this computer, or if you need any tools or supplies to work on it, there'll be a link above, also below in the description, to a list of all the tools you need and all the replacement components specific for this model. The hard drive is located right here, and it's screwed in by a caddy that's screwed down there. So I'm going to take up those 2 screws. After removing those screws, I'm going to grab this pull tab right here and pull it sideways. That releases your hard drive, and the hard drive comes out. To actually take the hard drive out of the caddy, it's these 2 other screws on that side, and then you can install a new hard drive or solid state drive into that caddy and put it back. This is your USB board right there. It's held down by a single screw, plugs into your motherboard here with a ribbon cable similar to the one on the keyboard. These are your speakers. It's held down by 1 screw there, 1 screw there, and the wires connect to each other in the middle, and it plugs into the motherboard right there. This is your Wi-Fi card. It plugs into the bottom of your motherboard. The antenna wire, the black antenna wire that comes from this hinge assembly, it goes down here. You just pull that up and it unsnaps from your Wi-Fi card. To get at your RAM, it's actually underneath the motherboard. Really horrible design. I'm glad most computers don't do this anymore. But to get at the RAM, we actually have to take up the motherboard. So I'm gonna unplug those speaker wires right there, pull that out. I'm gonna take out this Wi-Fi card and just pull it out of the plug like that. And then I'm gonna take up the LCD cable. Gonna peel up that sticker, take my pry tool and push up on either side of the port until I get it out, like that. And then after everything's unplugged, I have a screw there, and there's 1 more right there. Okay, so now the motherboard, there's actually a plug here, your power jack. So I'm gonna pull that, wiggle that right out of the port there. And then I'm gonna flip it over, and there's 1 more ribbon cable over here, but it's hard to get to it until I flip it over. So I'm gonna take my pry tool, just like in the keyboard cable, pop that up, take that ribbon cable out to the USB board and put that back down. So there's your RAM, there's your heatsink assembly, there's your CMOS battery. To get the RAM out, you would take these 2 spring-loaded arms on either side and gently pry them apart from each other. And the RAM releases, oftentimes it'll pop up like that. Then you can just pull it out like that. And that's how you get your RAM out of this computer. This CMOS battery is held into this cradle. To get it out, you would push it this way, in there, and it would release. Be very careful, oops, there we go. Be very careful, because if you force it, you could definitely break this cradle, and then you won't be able to get it back in. So after taking that out, you can replace it, or you can hold it out for 10, 15, 20 seconds to reset BIOS, put it back in, and then just press that way again and down. And it secures into place there. To get the heatsink assembly out, you just remove these 4 screws. There's your heatsink assembly and your CPU. Okay, so that's the video, guys, the teardown and disassembly video for the HP 15R. Again, if you needed any tools or replacement parts, there'll be a link above, also below in the description. And if you had any questions, check out the FAQs below in the description first. It could save you some time getting an answer. However, if you do need to leave me a question or comment, please do. I do try to get back to those a couple times a day at least. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.